Today, I am discussing decisions in life that will lead to regret. What does it mean to regret? Regret is a feeling of sadness, repentance, or disappointment over something that has happened or been done. With this definition, it's safe to assume that regret has something to do with our emotions. We are responsible for emotions about the past consequences of our lives. To have that much feeling about our past consequences, we must have thoughts about these consequences over and over in the present moments. Why does this happen? This happens because we might be unhappy about the solution we have right now. We might be unhappy with the lives that we are living. With these being mentioned, having thought about the past will help with the changes that we need both in the present and future moment. This is about the true meaning of motivation, the reason why we change for the better. One of the worst decisions we can make in our lives is when we do not start on the project. The second worst decision we can make in our lives is when we quit the project midway. The reason why we cannot afford to do any of these is because we need to have something to thrive for, gaining a purpose, and then eventually gaining mastery in life. This is what led us to be content in life. After we are content, we can be happy with many opportunities that will be given to us in the future. Forgive and forget. We should forgive and forget some of our past decisions. Why did I mention some but not all? We should prioritize some past problems compared to others in life. We should prioritize and then eventually organize our lives because of the changes that we need to make. Depending on the severity of the consequences from the past, we will have to make plans to fix these situations. If some memories make us suffer in the present moment, we should forgive ourselves and then forget some of it. Only remember the parts that we know we can eventually prepare for and act on them for the future of our progression in life. The truth is that we cannot change history. However, we can change how we react to the events that already have passed. This is also where many motivations strive from. The power to be a different man or woman from the past. For us to do this, we must have a clear mind. Why is this so important? If we do not have a clear mind, we will be trapped. What is this trap that I am talking about? This trap is about habits and comfort zones. This is when people are stuck with bad, unhealthy habits that they do not want to get rid of. Some people do not even know that they are stuck in habits that are ruining their lives. They are acting unconsciously. Before it's too late, we must change this. How do you know it will be too late? The only repercussion is time. The power of the compound effect will turn your habits into a force of nature. Nature can either take everything that you know and love, or it can create everything that you know and love. With this being said, we need to forgive and forget things that we cannot control. Meanwhile, prioritize things that we need to and can control for a better life in the future. How do we do that? We do that by obtaining intuitive ability and knowledge, becoming smarter and wiser over time. Be smarter over time. Being smart is the result of the capability of fast learning and highly intuitive decision-making. In the world, we will have people who are book smart and street smart. This is about the environment that we have learned from. Book smart is when the student will learn from an accredited intuition or resources. This ranges from brick-and-mortar school to our books. Street smart is when the student obtains their knowledge in a hands-on environment. They are people who rely more on practical experience than lectural knowledge. The truth is that we need both in life. To change the past and to improve our lives for the better, we need to be all-around learners. With this being said, when striving to be smart, we will read many books. These books will give us the blueprint to set up our lives. We need to read or listen to information that can detach us from regrets that we are having in life. This detachment is what motivation and discipline consequently turned into. We realize that we are regretting from the past, so we need to change that. These changes over time will build up and eventually turn into our lifestyle. This is why in the first phase of restoring your life, we need to learn fast that our life can be better. How much better do we have to be? We must have the end in mind. We must have a short-term and long-term plan. Now, what happens if we successfully reach our destination after so many years of hard? There are two decisions to make. The first decision is that we can settle down and retire from working after all these years of grinding. The second decision is that we can set a new standard to reach. People want to be richer, but at what cost? There should be a realization that grinding for more is not the right answer to life where they are. The reason for this is that they have been through so much for something that they care for. Once they have achieved that, their purpose and value will not be the same. It will turn into something entirely different. For example, they can just want to reach the top and become more rich. They can be richer, but are they wealthy? This is why we should also be wise over time. Be wiser over time. What does being wiser mean? Wise people will show experience, knowledge, and good judgment. With this being said, it is close to impossible to have wisdom when we are young. This young age range that people will not gain wisdom with can actually be at any age. It is not their age that shapes them, but their experiences. I mentioned this because people who are still in their 40s or older can live in a bubble their whole life. This is why we should plan on becoming wiser when we are younger. We might not have the same strength when we are much older in life. How do we be wiser over time? The truth to becoming wiser is to be smarter. As I mentioned before, smartness is about the capability to fast learning and highly intuitive decision-making. Smart people will have metrics and standards to reach toward. This is the reason why smart people love to read and learn. If you want to be wiser, you must obtain knowledge and information. However, this is where the similarity of smartness and wisdom stops. Wisdom has to continue with experience through application. If people rely on becoming smart, they will soon waste their time. The reason is that if the knowledge and information are not being applied, it will get lost. With this being said, after you have researched and are secure about your decision, plan your work and work your plan. Take the necessary risk. They are not truly living because they do not take risks. What is risk? Risk is about someone or something that creates or suggests a hazard. With risk being defined, people will use risk to clarify their gut feeling of danger. However, what if they are wrong? We cannot predict the future. That is not something that we can control. There is something that we can control. Research and security beforehand. This is where our wisdom journey officially begins, after we have been smart about our studies. This is because of our judgment. As mentioned before, wisdom is a combination of experience, knowledge, and then finally judgment. The idea of risk is a security judgment of someone or something. We cannot predict the future, but we can use the past to secure the present moment. Thus, this is about trust and credibility. The level of trust can be different for each person. When we have doubt, will this lead to regret? What is doubt? Doubt is a feeling of uncertainty or lack of conviction. According to this definition, there are two ways for people to have doubt. The first way is when they lack confidence and competence. When people lack these two, they will not have clarity in their decision-making. If you ask if it's all right to make this decision, you are having doubts. The truth is that every decision requires skill and experience. Even the most mundane application will require some sort of skill. We need to practice a skill enough that we cannot get it wrong. Life is not perfect. However, we can always improve it. If we do not doubt a decision, we will perform that task without any regret, as it will be automatic. This is also the power of routine. We need to have a strong routine that is driven by unbreakable habits. We will also need to be a generalist. What if the decision that we have to make is not part of our specialty? We need to learn and practice a little of everything that can change our lives for the better. The second way that people can have doubt is through their gut feeling. A gut feeling is our intuition. This happens when there is a sense of danger that overshadows the rate of return. This is why it is important to have backup plans. We need to stay alert and have good judgment, because not only a decision that can give you a gut feeling, people can also give you a gut feeling. The use of manipulation is really dangerous if we do not know any information about it for counteraction. More minds are better than one. The truth is that everything about decision-making will require a lot of information. This is also one of the reasons why maintaining a business is so hard. The thing about business is that there are teammates who are working together and thinking together. The reality is that we need to have more minds than one. If we gather many perspectives, we can find the best solution for our problem. With this being said, we must listen and learn from others, especially people who have more experience in that field of study. Going back to the analogy of a business, a corporation will have many executives in each department. They have gained experience for years so they can have a high-ranking position. A chief executive officer manages all of these executives. We must be a CEO of our own life. Every decision that we make is part of our investment for a higher return in the future. Regret is, in fact, just a feeling that we have when we desire the result that we have missed. We can change this by planning a different route to achieve this result. We can seek out assistance and guidance from others. Meanwhile, follow the path to our goal.